Where's the fun in that? And that one guy on YouTube said I was beating the woman. Ha! Well, I proved that jerk wrong. Because nobody is better than Daryl the Fox.
Oof. Ugh. I guess nonsensical plots can really make my head spin. But oh hey, we're halfway there. Alright. Nothing's gonna stop me now. Well, sorry about that, but Penguin Boy is doing good. And apparently the age rating for this movie is now 18+, which still isn't an excuse to make a certain scene that we're going to talk about later. And with a little support and evidence, I think it's time to finally put this movie to the bin. So let's just skip the Daryl versus the evil emperor scene, because it was pretty boring.
I sure feel bad for this poor fellow who died. The evil emperor sure did a number on him.
Whoa! I'm alive again, but how?
This leads to another question. Why does he have healing powers too in the first place? Yes, it was used in season 1 of his series, but that doesn't quite explain on why he got the powers in general. Besides, he manages to revive the dead person. And this is where things get a bit interesting.
I will never betray you at all.
Okay, Mandy. Thank you for being honest with me, though.
Keep staying dumb, you stupid idiot.
Suddenly, Mandy's somehow a villain. Like, we didn't get any episodes or earlier scenes about her using Daryl to the point she's evil all along. I do have an advice if anyone wants to make a series or a movie. If someone decides to portray the protagonist, more character development is necessary. Leaving something unexplained will make the plot very confusing to understand.
I really feel awful. I wasn't expecting this to happen so quickly.
Well, you should be, because he's been a discriminative jerk to everyone, myself included, with the country I'm from.
Hello, Mandy. Is the plan going well for you?
Yes, Edge. The plan is going well.
We then suddenly found out that Mandy actually loves Edge. Like, does she sneak out of Daryl's room just to hang out with him before season 4's first episode? Could be a possibility, but I don't quite know, because there is very small character development. Like, there could be a plot twist in a flashback about it. That would make it more sense.
Just get out of my room and stop asking stupid questions.
Okay, jeez.
1 minute she's fine, the next she just acts completely angry at me.
Maybe you have to give her some personal space, that's what. I mean, dude, you can just easily break up with her and then you won't have to deal with her anymore. That means no cheating, no arguing, no problems, none of that stuff.
Once again, Demon Daryl makes a very good point. If your soulmate is being strange to the point of cheating on you, it's best you break up with said soulmate so you won't have to deal with getting your heart broken. So Daryl gives up having the conversation, knowing in a couple of days Mandy will betray her, but decides to look at a rainbow just to get it off his mind, which I think the rainbow's gonna disappear after everything he's done. And don't worry, I will get to that stuff very soon. 2 days later, Mandy initiates the plan to betray Daryl, only to be confronted by Darcy, who was listening to the whole thing, and proceeds to attack Mandy. But she pretty much didn't fear anything, and she tells Darcy about the anger taking over her if she attacks one more time. And here's a snippet of Daryl not believing in anything that Darcy is saying.
She's chatting with the evil Emperor's bodyguard Edge, and she secretly hates you.
Darcy, you must be lying about this.
Come on, Daryl, think rationally.
I am thinking rationally, and what I'm saying is, I don't believe you. Everybody keeps saying that Mandy keeps using me, Well, I've had enough of it, alright? First my best friends, and now my own girlfriend Darcy, telling me that Mandy's using me. That's a load of right there. I'm leaving, and I haven't got time for this.
He didn't believe me. He's gonna get his heart broken, and he didn't believe me.
There's nothing else to add, but with Edge telling the Emperor about Mandy joining them and giving his sword a pink color, Mandy acting sweet towards Daryl, and Barry trying his best to calm Darcy down. I feel like I can do this, so I just have to hang on a little longer.
Edge, I've decided to move the date to today. Today I'm finally gonna betray Daryl and leave his for good.
I guess after what happened yesterday, it didn't go as planned after Darcy attacked. That makes sense. If things go wrong, there's always time to change your game around.
That filthy son of a bitch. She is so gonna pay. Daryl, enough is enough. You need to break up with your girlfriend right now. Mandy isn't using me. She is, Daryl. We saw her.
Why can't you just accept the reality and face facts already, Daryl?
He's not wrong, alright?
No, I'm seriously getting... What am I supposed to do?
Yo, Daryl, long time no... Daryl? Are you okay there?
He then meets up with Xavier, who looks way different than the previous version. And they play some Super Smash Brothers. I'm sorry, Super Gacha Bros, which Daryl is Sonic for obvious reasons, and Xavier as Mario. Then I would come in and beat their butts as Kirby.
Winners always win and losers always lose.
Shut the fuck up, Daryl. Mario is the best character in Super Gacha Brothers and you know it. He has the strongest moveset in the game.
You know, he's not wrong. Mario's a pretty strong character, and he's easy to pick up and play if you've played Super Smash Bros. For the first time. And now I'm not gonna waste more of your time, as I will go through the rest of the stuff that's happening by talking, so this is gonna get long. I got this. So Daryl and Xavier goes food shopping for some Ben & Jerry's cookie dough ice cream for some reason, only to be spotted by Edge and makes an escape. Daryl explains to Xavier about the situation, and he tells him that he should break out with Mandy, which Daryl understands a bit and goes to do so, but this led to Mandy revealing the secret to him as leaving his heart broken. He tried to convince the others that it was a big misunderstanding, but it won't budge, as they, including Darcy, left him. This led to a musical scene about some flashbacks, with Let Me Down Slowly by Alec Benjamin playing. And since Mandy is joining the evil side, she gets a new evil form, and now plans on destroying the city or the world or whatever. Maurice and Angel Daryl tries to comfort Daryl for what happened, but since Maurice can make wishes happen, he managed to convince the others that it was a misunderstanding. But Daryl gets news about Darcy and Becky being kidnapped by the Emperor. They decided that enough is enough, as Believer by Imagine Dragons played as they grab their weapons and whatnot, and goes into an all-out brawl with all of them, which means the Emperor, Evil Mandy, and Edge. Some were injured, but there was one fatality, which was Maurice. That scene confuses me, since Daryl is just sitting there crying about his death and the Emperor just stands there. He could have had a chance to kill the rip-off Fox. Spoiler alert though, Maurice comes back to life after the ordeal. Now Daryl activates his Omega form, and this leads to a scene which is now considered the most infamous scene in the history of Daryl Destroys YT.
What were you just watching?
Thank you, Sean. Now to find a river. Just, why would he make that scene in the first place? It's super unnecessary. which the Emperor decides to be a creep to the girl. Luckily for us, we got some evidence about the scene, so let's go for that. Before we get to the actual thing about the voice actors though, I think I should show you Stories YT's response to the scene. And I'm not happy about it. Oh yeah, and pause the video if you want to read it. So his response is saying that the movie is rated 15 or 18 and that it's meant to have an NSFW scene. And he said that the whole thing is a joke. Okay, first of all, just because it's mature rated doesn't mean it's a requirement to include an NSFW scene. And second, perverted displays and actions are a huge problem and should not be taken as a joke. It's very disgusting of you, especially if it's in the gacha community when it comes to heat and all that. And don't get me started on the voice actress for the girl in this scene. She goes by the username XAkiruX, and thanks to Fapro47 and Ricky Martinez, I was able to find her and had a chat with her about the incident. And we got red-handed with one of the conversations from Twitter and Discord she screenshot. So thank you, Fapro and Ricky, as well as her, for showing me evidence. You can check their stuff out in the description. Oh yeah, and Akiru also has a voice recording about the whole incident as well. So for this next moment, I want you to read and listen closely. And I feel very bad for her. I'll go over some details later, but listen very closely, because this is important.
Daryl, when he first messaged me, I was confused because I thought they're some of my regular people, and I thought he was 18 until I was a few months later, before I found out he tricked me, that I needed a break. He was guilt tripping me to and making me guilty for not doing it because I was having a mental health crisis with something and I needed a break with my release with voice acting for a bit because of what happened to me. I will not go tangents about that. But when he asked me, he said, what if I was 14 or 15? I would automatically blocked him, would told the people what he's done to me, and like I did now, and made sure he won't even get anyone's voice acting again, which I'm trying to do because people got tricked too easily to stuff. And when I found out, and I asked him I asked him nicely on Twitter, and I told him, don't support Gacha. He got mad at me and said, oh, F you agreed to this. And he tricked me. So he didn't specify it was a Gacha movie. He didn't at all. So it's not my fault. It's sort of my fault for not looking at his content, but it's not my fault for him not specifying, because I am autistic, so I can't understand some things because I'm high functional, but not all things. So when he was asking, I thought it was an animation, like an actual animation, like I usually do with NSFW or regular. But there's one thing I'm going to say is Gacha Heat is the one thing I will say no about. Even though you guys begged me or he begged me, I would say no if he told me. But he tricked me, so he's going to get the consequences, so I'm sorry.
There's so many things that's wrong about this. I made some notes about it, so hear me out. She got tricked into being the voice actor for his movie by guilt tripping, lying about him being 18, when he's around 15 to 16 and she's 20. Well, he didn't specify what movie he was doing, like it's an animation or a gacha movie. Like, you have to specify what you're doing, and if it has an NSFW scene in it, don't use Gacha Club. It's gonna give you a toxic reputation. Also, she doesn't have a huge problem with the gacha community, but heat in this one is something she doesn't want to be involved with, and she says no to. And when she found out about all this, she said to Daryl not to support it, as well as delete the recordings, but he threw a temper and blocked her. That's gonna leave a huge mark in his career, and I hope she's doing good now. Though, here's something hypocritical during the aftermath of the movie.
And you know what, Maurice? You taught me a very valuable and important lesson today. Never wish away the people that you hate. No matter how much you hate them. That's the lesson that you told me before you died, old pal.
Says the one who bullied Sumukikin off the internet! Alright, one more clip, and it's a post-credit scene.
That Saiyan guy really finished off his old enemies. But wait until Vladimir Evilton takes over the whole world and defeats Daryl the Fox.
Wow. Vladimir Evilton. I guess the Russian villain's gonna take care of the rest then. And that was the movie. It was a long fever dream, but we survived. Phew. Well, now that you know a thing or two about the behind the scenes, the characters are a slight improvement in terms of design, but other than that, the story, the script, the editing, the character development are still the same. It's bad. There's nothing much to say, but it did include some talented voice actors. So I'm giving this movie a 3 out of 10. Well, it's over. I hope. But thank you so much for the support and evidence. This might sound cheesy, but without you, I wouldn't even know how to make the episode possible. So, once again, thank you. Anyway, this concludes Gacha Critic for now. Thanks for watching. Special shoutouts are in the description if you want to check their stuff. And make sure to take care. Now if you excuse me, I've got to check on someone.
That Goomba looks so surreal. Well then,